Hello everyone, and today we'll be taking a look at a particularly special set. This is from 2013, the LEGO Legends of Chima Ultimate Speedor Tournament. Now, first and foremost, I have to say this in my very honest opinion, I did not care about Chima. It's a theme that I really just overlooked, didn't really care much. So up to this day, still not I still got that same feeling, but that doesn't mean I didn't have any of the sets. I just didn't have any of the big sets. Most of them were mostly Speedorz, little polybags, and just recently I've covered all the ultra buildable action figures, those large CCBS action figures. And if you haven't checked those out, then go check those out before watching these ones. But the thing is, these sets aren't a simple system set. Like, it's not a simple play set. In fact, these are Speedorz. And if you don't know what Speedorz is, it's basically LEGO's version of Hot Wheels combined with a little bit of Beyblade. That's basically how I describe it. Because, well, number one, it's not about the Ninjago spinners, because Ninjago had spinners. Well, for Chima here, they had these miniature Speedorz, is what they call it, but I just call them little chi cars, and they're essentially like little motorcycles. And depending on the character and the tribe and what animal they're from, it will define the design of the vehicle. And the first year of Chima, they released a ton of different Speedorz. Some more exclusive than the others. I remember seeing they had one for a fox and one for a skunk. Those were in fact the rarest Speedor sets out there, and the only way to obtain those figures. These figures, these are more common. You can obtain them from the system sets, but honestly the cheapest way to get your collection of minifigures from Chima, it's either by collecting Speedorz or buying the system sets. So this one is a particularly special one because this is, well, not the normal Speedorz would probably be just like one car, one figure, and a small little obstacle course. Well, this one is called the Ultimate Speedor Tournament, and this one is actually a special one because it comes in an entire $30 set box. And the whole point of this is that this is basically your final battle moments, or like the last course in a Speedorz race. And so this one's a particularly special one because this is basically the protagonist versus antagonist set, and it's actually the cheapest way to get the protagonist and the antagonist in one set: Laval the lion and Cragger the crocodile. So the point is that Laval is the main good guy, the protagonist, and Cragger is the main bad guy, the antagonist, and they were once best friends that are now enemies facing off against each other. So 246 pieces, and this is version 16. That's how many Speedorz they've made. God dang. All right. In case you were very confused with what I said about the Speedorz, here is a visual representation. And the point is, you just compete with your friends, just like the Ninjago spinners, fighting for the chi. And I guess the person with the most chi wins. Yeah, so this basically functions like a mini game. You can see these are the system sets that they have. This is just two of them. There's Eris's thingy, and then Warris is like Wolf ATV. I don't even know anymore. But that's the box. So, of course, like Ninjago spinners, the Speedorz all included play cards, which will change up the game. Now, this is the cards for Laval. We got a couple of them, and this one's for Cragger. I'm not gonna open these. I'm just gonna keep them in the package because, again, I said I'm not really interested in Chima, and I'm more than happy to sell these things. So when I do, these cards are in perfect condition, and I don't need to repackage them. So I'm not gonna bother opening these, and you'll just see Cragger, Laval. All right, we're cool. Okay, I can put the cards away. Now, speaking of Cragger and Laval, let's take a look at the Speedorz included. So the protagonist and the antagonist all in one set, and the point is this is Laval's Speedorz, sorry, Speedorz. And I am not going to actually do it in front of the studio here because I just don't have the space for it. But I can show you one thing, and that is how these Speedorz work. So they each come with these really long spinal cords. I don't know, because I'm just gonna call it rip cords. Yes, rip cords, that's the word, not spinal cords. So you just stick them in here, and then the point is you're just supposed to let them rip, and then the wheel, you see the main wheel in front starts to rip up, and then you just put it down and the Speedorz will zoom away, which I will not do because it will crash through everything and ruin the entire studio. So that's why I will not, but you get the point. And then you can set up little obstacles which are each included in each Speedorz set. Then you can zip your Speedorz through the obstacle course. This one is a particularly special one. We've got a whole 3 course system going. Well, I'll get to that in a second, but this is Laval's. For his Speedorz, he's got the razor blades. Interesting customization. I guess it's a smart idea, you know. Create some distance between him when he's racing. Each different Speedor design is based on the coverage. Laval's here, of course, is like a line-based design, and it's okay in my opinion. The line Speedors are not really in particular my favorite. I actually much prefer the crocodiles and their wolves. Their Speedors look pretty awesome if I have to compare it. But yeah, so again, very flexible material, but you cannot really use this for customization. These Speedors are very limited and they really only serve one purpose, and that is for this one purpose. And then we have the Laval figure, the main protagonist of the old Chima series, Prince of the Lions, with his royal sword, and it's got the lightsaber blade in the middle. Very nice piece and a very nice sword. You can see he's got the chi harness to put the chi in. He's got a blue cape, of course. You know, he's kind of got like a royal superhero thing going on. And then if the camera will focus, there you go. The camera focus. This is what his face imprint looks like. And here comes the creepy part. Voila! There are minifigure heads with 2 faces. So here's like his determined face, and then more like his passive face. And this is a really creepy thing, and I'm gonna stick that back on before I get nightmares. Yeah, but there you go. Those are the animal heads, and this is Laval. And again, Laval in minifigure form. Finally, I did the Chi Laval, and here I have him in minifigure form. So does Cragger. So here is Cragger, the main antagonist, the main bad guy. Cragger the crocodile. And his cape is quite different. In fact, it's the red, shattered, ripped up cape. Gives him more of the evil, villainous look. He's also got chi harness. Makes sense. And really like these crocodile minifigures. Their head molds are pretty sick. And I think the way they stick out is just completely different from the others. I think that's a very smart idea. And no, Cragger doesn't have his golden spear. Instead, he's got just a normal staff with a red plate, because of course he's a bad guy. So yeah, pretty nice figure. And of course, just to show you guys, ooh, that's creepy, is it not? Yeah, that's creepy. Let's stick that back on. Okay, and then his Speedorz is more of a much crocodile design, and the way I like how there's like teeth at the bottom here for the extra texture. I think the mold is a particularly good idea. And he's got little axes on the side. That's a much simpler customization, better than Laval's like razor blade things. And of course, here are the ripcords for their Speedorz. Every single Speedorz has to have these, or else there's nothing to power the Speedorz. Okay, so we've gone over the Speedorz figures. Now let's look at the actual course set. Well, first and foremost, we gotta look at the chi. These are all the chi, and we get a ton of chi. And these are all just individual pieces. And wow, we got all of them. I guess these are to tally up your points. Of course, every Speedor set has a bunch of chi, so this one has a bunch of chi as well. Surprisingly, it doesn't have more than the... I think this has the same amount as a single Speedor set, despite this being like a big, giant final battle set. There's also Eagle's Castle, but I don't think I'll be doing Eagle's Castle because I haven't found a cheap one at all. I found this one for 30 bucks, so yeah. Okay, other weapons included, we've got a kind of like a spear axe. So it's like a spear here and they've got an axe blade. That's kind of awkward, but it's a good secondary weapon. Also include just a simple, plain old gunmetal gray mace for minifigures. Nothing new, these things have been around since Ninjago. And then we look at the actual course itself, which first and foremost you're probably going to notice this huge lion monument. And the point of this one is for the Speedors to go under. You'll see there's like a target board here, and once the Speedors hits the target board, it will fire the chi orb on top. And I guess the point is, whichever Speedors hits the target, oh, I completely failed that, hits the target, let's, like that, and then catch the orb, which is just those Hero Factory spear balls, is the winner. So this is one way to do it, and it's a very simple design, and I like the playability, the way it works is, you know, it launches this giant chi orb, and I think that's a very smart play feature. And the overall design of the actual like monument itself looks awesome. It's like a big lion and all these little spikes sticking out. That's very cool. That is a very cool little thing, and unfortunately this does stick from the back a little too much, but it's all part of the playability, so all is forgiven. And then the second part is you've got this little ramp thing with little vines. I like that for the extra texture. And the point is you've got this little shrine with, again, a chi orb inside. And how this works is, you know how this is very loose? Well, the point is you got the fire cones, which actually, oh yeah, they're just for decorations. They're not really part of the course. And the point is you're supposed to launch the Speedors up, and then, well, at least attempt to, like, knock the monument down, and then Chi orb roll out, and I guess the first one to grab it wins. And so this is how, I like how this is very loose, but it's a little too loose, you know? It's actually kind of, not gonna lie, if you don't take off that vine piece, it's actually very hard to knock. Maybe that's all part of the challenge, it's actually quite difficult to knock this off. And I like the design, not gonna lie. I think it's done very well. This is a very nice piece to store the chi orb in. And again, the fire cones are very nice. So yeah, that is it. We've gone through the entire set. I never really was a big fan of Chima, if I have to be really honest, but I like the idea of the Speedors. I think they don't replace the Ninjago spinners, but it would be kind of be a copy if they made spinners for these things. So to come up with something like this is a good idea, and playability, it's just so much fun. The Speedorz is a great mini game for little kids to enjoy, and it's like it's different from the system sets because it's a game that you can play with everyone. After you collect all the other Speedorz, then you can create a whole tournament, and that's the fun part of it. Like, the point of these Speedor sets, and they did the same thing with Ninjago with the spinners, the point of these was to really ramp up the fun, you know, to actually treat these like a game and not just a set. And I like that. So this set, for, you know, the final battle, it's a very well executed set, and it's a good cheap way to get the two most important characters in all of Chima, Laval and Cragger. Protagonist, antagonist, wonderful. And they're Speedors too, so this is excellent. So this is, all in all, a great set. I would recommend. And of course, there are other better Speedors out there, but I won't be covering them. But I'm already thinking of some really excellent Speedor sets that you have to pick up. But this one is very good for, you know, quote unquote the final battle Speedor set. So I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. It's just, it offers a great amount of stuff. Maybe I could have offered a little more, but what can I say? This is all good for 30 bucks. You definitely get a lot. So yeah, all right. So that's it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Just a quick, not really that quick, it's almost 15 minutes, but it's just a look at the set, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So subscribe to the channel for more and like this video. We'll see you all on the next one.